Follow the finger.
Restorations where all turns new. Bikes and cars revived, it's quite a view. With Kaz and Winnie, the restoration team will make these classics fulfill their dream. Watch the shades from rust to shining chrome. Each builds a journey, glad you've come along. If our restorations get your motor running, like and subscribe, keep the channel humming.
I don't think she knows I'm filming. Good morning, dear. Good morning. Good morning, one and all. Edie here, back in the house. In the house, isn't it? Like my new fans. Not bad, is it? Of course, I sweat profusely, and it doesn't matter if it's frosty outside. I go outside with no top on because my body can't regulate its temperature. So, yeah, the fans come in handy. Anywho, that's not what we're about today. We're about flat screen TVs. Flat screen TVs, I hear you cry. Yes, HDR flat screen TVs. I bought this telly about 4 years ago. I do apologise if this is your build, if this is your living. I've just gone on YouTube and I found a picture that I could freeze and I could show you what is wrong with this telly and the reason why. I'm going to be tearing it down and finding out what's wrong with it and can it be fixed, because this TV used to be upstairs in the playroom because of its HDR. So when you play games like Red Dead Redemption 2, it's made with HDR in mind. What that basically means is high def replay. With games like that, you get oh, come on, brain, stop. It's too early for me, to be honest. It's only 8:15 in the morning. I'm not. I don't normally surface till about 11. So yeah. Anywho, games like that and VR as well are best on an HDR game. Well, gaming is best done on an HDR TV with a high refresh rate. So let me show you what this TV is doing, and it's been doing it now for about a year. We moved it downstairs because we were watching movies and stuff and really wanted a good picture. Plus, it doesn't have any old connectivity on the back of it. So you can't put an aerial in, you can't put a SCART in, you can't put, what's the other one's called? I think you can put component in it, but that's about as far as it goes. You can't put component in it, or RVAs. It's just basically bloody HDMI. Beg your pardon. So where I wanted to play my old consoles upstairs, my retro stuff, I couldn't plug it into the telly, so that's why we did a swap. Anywho, let me show you.
Sorry.
Kaz has just put my breakfast down on the floor. Look, guys. I have a chicky paw and some minced beef with mussels on top of there. Great, isn't it?
And
Oh, and a boiled egg, my favourite. You can't beat a boiled egg. Right, here's the telly. Let's get close in. And we can see... you see all this? They're purple lines. They range from purple to pink. And as we scroll up very closely, very carefully, I don't know. Can you see all these lines? Oh, thundering. Oh Christ, I ripped some of it. You can see all these lines are showing it really well on this camera. That's good. But look, it's all the way up, and it does go right up to the top. Where that's light, it doesn't show. So yeah, we've got this, and it's getting gradually worse. In certain films, when they're in like a dark room, you know, murdering people and shit, It's so noticeable. So we managed to scrape together some pennies to get a bush, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Managed to buy a bush. So there it is. It's just a basic TiVo's, couple £100. So we're going to put that on the wall, and I'm going to see if I can take that apart. I've never taken apart a flat screen telly before, so it'll be a first. And yeah, I can share with you guys and girls. If you go onto YouTube and type in TV screen failure or picture failure or whatever, it all comes up with backlighting and vertical lines, but I've not found anything with horizontal lines, so it's all unknown territory. But there is a couple of good chaps on there that are really into their fixing old flat TV screens, whether it be OLED. Have you seen the range of bloody screens you can get these days? You got OLED,
UHD, HDR, OLED, QLED.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's loads, isn't there?
Just yeah.
There's too many, and you don't, technology. Just slow down, technology. All right, we've had enough.
We're old.
Just stop. Right, yeah, because we don't.
We're old.
We don't know.
Don't like all this technology now.
It's just, just want a bloody telly that works. That's all.
Bring back the big fat boxes.
Yeah, the old CRTs.
Yeah, they were awesome.
But they weighed 4,000 tons.
Yeah, but they didn't break.
I don't know how I got mine up into my flat in Tidborough. Fucking hell, I only killed myself doing that. Anywho, I digress. Keep watching. Stick your brew on. Get your bacon butty get your bacon under the grill, and join us for part 2 of tearing down this flat screen telly. Oakley dokley. Right. I keep pressing the button. I keep pressing the part on my phone, and I think it moves a little bit. I think it's the old case. I think it's a bit knackered. Because it moves a bit, you think you've pressed a button and stopped recording. But there you go. Got me blue. Wrong cup. It's in the wash, Richard. Fucking hell, that was hot. Right. Here is the telly with the backlit LEDs all around it. It is a Philips. And that is the Numbrero of it. Dolby Atmos and all that nonsense. Right, we've got a Phillips screwdriver. Let's tear into it and get the back off. Right. You don't want to watch me doing all that shit, so no. See you in a sec. Are you checking my work again, lad? I hope so. Yeah. Right. No comment. Rubber gloves on the floor. No comment, lads. Keep it to yourselves. Right, I've got a little selection of tools there, bits and pieces. I'm trying to move it all out of the way. I'll put the whips and chains away. Shit, man. Right, so all the screws have been removed as far as I can tell. Are you going to sit down and watch or what? Froggy boy. Are you going to sit down? Go on then. Sit. No, not on the telly. Douchebag. Okay, so I think I've got all the screws out. I've never taken a telly apart like this before. I've taken old tellies apart, the old CRTs, because I just like to get electrocuted with a big voltage whack. Which brings me along to, don't try this at home, kids, seriously. I know my way around a PCB. I know, capacitors, they can hold a charge, very big charges. And I can give you a hell of a bout. If you just know what you're doing sort of slightly, then you're okay, sort of thing. You can discharge them with an earth lead to an earth, but if you don't know what you're doing, don't attempt it. This is just something that I do because I don't want to put this telly in landfill. I mean, what's the point? Right, let me crack on. Let's have a look. Let's just see what's going on. Let's see what's appertaining. Let's put the flipping light on. That's better. Have I undone all the screws? I thought I had. That's that done. All them are out. Those are out. There we go. What's the matter, Woozy Pops? Ah, he is all out. Yeah, he's gone. He's not stupid. You might look it. Something's stopping that. In there. I need 2 hands for this. Or do I just rip it out? Oh, I don't know. It's news to me. No, I definitely need 2 hands for this. Okay, I think I've broken it free. What I'm going to do is tilt it up and sort of walk it a little bit further onto the bed of sorts. And we'll pull this open and have a look inside. Okay. Now you do generally have 2 boards. I've done my homework. You have a power supply board, which would be that one. Definitely. And then you have the other board. So what we got here then? Why can't I? Oh, I can, but I need to disconnect those 2 there, I think. Let's have a look. That wasn't right in. No, that certainly wasn't right in. Could it just be that, for God's sake? Let's just check everything. You'll know if a capacitor is blown because the ends swell up. Ah, you bugger! I ain't joking. Nothing. Oops. Nothing is jumping out at me. You basically got your backlight, your LED, the backlight LEDs are in here. They're big strips of them. There's about 12 different strips, all going all the way down. And if one of those strips are out, then it goes a bit dark in an area, you know, wherever the thingy's out, sort of thing. Now, see, that says main on there, so I'm guessing that's main visual. See, what happens is most of, I mean, all like I said the other day, everything is 12 volt pretty much in the UK. So you get 240 in, gets transformed down to 12 volt, and via 5 volt and 3 volt. So all comes in as 240, gets split up into different signals, and one signal gets sent to a controller. The controller then fires a signal to another controller, and if it says yes, it fires back a yes, and then that powers up something else. So that's basically what we've got now. That board down there, those 2 ribbons there, that is for the lighting, the backlight. I do know that much. So now that cable was hanging out, and I've just pushed it back in. I'm just going to shut the back up, like so. And I'm going to plug the power lead in up under there. I'm just going to turn it on and see what happens. What do you reckon? Okay, let's just do that. Right, I'm just using this lead. This is the brand new lead that come with the other telly. What we got here? Right, that's my suck machine. I'm only messing about. Right, what we got? Cock, that's the top, isn't it? So we'll put that up under there. We'll pluggy that in there somewhere. Come on, in you get. Right, that's now plugged in. Do we have any lights on the telly? the backlight should light up when it's on. There you go. Obviously it will say no picture. Ah, no, look at the lines, look. They're all still there, all of them. So it's not, that's about my level of fixing shit. No, it's not. You know, it's not that. I don't like to chuck the towel in, and I haven't chucked the towel in on that PS4 either. I'm going to try and reflow all the chips, and if that doesn't work, then it is dead, and there's nothing you can do about it. But that is the last resort, is fluxing everything out. I've got my hot air station, so I haven't got to buy anything for that. Just run the hot air gun over it about 450 degrees, very gently, just reflowing, which basically is melting the solder and sort of rejoining, if you like, just in case any of the legs have dried up and cracked and just come off. So not real legs, yeah, metal legs. All right, you sat at the back. Okay, so that's done nothing really. Look at that big line through there. God, dear, oh dear. Okay, right, take two. Okay, I've separated the looms so we can separate the two halves. It's easier to work on, isn't it? Just checking basically these LED strips, which there are 4, believe it or not, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That is the rear lights that come on. So that's all hunky-dory. That's all good. Just checking everything's plugged in. That should be everything. There's nothing loose there, isn't it? I mean, this part of the TV is fine, isn't it? So yeah, that's all good. Okay, so we can take that and take that. Okay, right, now let's have the important part down here. These are the feeds for the LED strips. So I'm guessing they're going vertically on this one. It's a bit strange, isn't it? Normally they're left to right, but I suppose if they're vertical, they're shorter. Therefore they take, or there's more of them. They take less power than great big strippies there. Don't know why I unplugged that. There was 2, and I've marked that one T for top, but this one is obviously part of this. That's a transfer cable from, well, the power to there. Okay, right, leave me to have a poke around. I don't really want to have to get into where the LEDs are at the moment. I don't think there's any out, in all fairness, because you just have a dark area whichever way the lights go. You'd have a dark area. A section of the screen would be slightly darker. Sometimes it's not noticeable, but sometimes it is. Right, I think the kids are knocking on the door. You know what I'm saying? See you in a bit, guys. Yeah, I'm just checking these ribbons, checking the connections, making sure that nothing is obviously bridging anything. Very carefully. Come on. Putting them back in, using the blue part. Come on, blue part. There you go. The blue part you can actually use as a lever, as a lever to our lever ducts. Oops, that wasn't stuck down very well, was it? Okay. Now I'm going to put the camera in a minute on macro, off camera, so I can have a really good look at these. See, these strips communicate all the information. All the signals, all the zeros and dots. Zeros and ones, mind. There you go, that's it. Okay. Make sure there's nothing bridging any of these tiny little contacts. A bit of fluff in there, anything really like that. You can just, because it's not major, is it? I mean, if you stand back on the look at the telly, it's that spot on when you get up close to it. But when the telly gets, I suppose, when it's been on for a few hours, if you get a really dark scene, it's just blooming awful, really. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to. What I'm gonna do is do that to all the ribbon traces. Okay, best I can. I think it's just those two now left to do. Once I've done that, there, I'm going to fire it up again, just to check. You never know, it may be that. So I'm going to macro it first, just to have sort of like a magnifying glass camera, if you like. When you put on macro, can be really close to see it. It's all yeah, closer. You know, I can't think of the word. You know what I'm trying to say. So I'll check that out and go over it with a fine brush to get rid of any contaminants that could possibly be bridging any of those little fingers that would cause it. It's the bottom row, isn't it, on the screen? The pink row, the purple lines. Doesn't look good, does it? Okay, let me have a look at this, and we'll go from there. Right, well, I've gone over that with my my muff brush. Don't spit your coffee out, guys. It's not a muff brush, really. It's a yeah. Anyway, it's a very awesomely soft brush. It doesn't leave bristles behind or any sort of things like that. I've gone along, literally, I've undone everything, and just in case there's something microscopic across these little things, I've gone across all along and making sure these are okay, make sure they haven't moved slightly or, you know, melted and come off, because they're only stuck on pretty much. I've literally checked everything and brushed things. Power wise, it's simply it's easy enough to see whether you're getting 12 volts out of there or to supply this and that. If you open up your optical drive, once it's plugged in, that center should be glowing red, because it should be sending a signal out of there. If you've got nothing coming out of there, there's no 12 volts going to that. Right, I'm just going to pop the two halves back together slightly and plug everything back in and see if anything has changed. If not, I am going to get my microscope out, proper microscope out, soldering microscope, and I am going to check all of these tiny little legs on here and around all these chips, because they can slightly lift. The joint can break, can separate, whether heat or just, I don't know, stuff like that. You've got to check literally all of those with a tiny I mean, this is a tiny pair of scissors, but I mean, that is like a freaking, I don't know what, doesn't it, compared to the size of that chip. But I've got a really fine tipped, like a dental pick, if you like, for want of a better word, and you can just sort of twang each leg individually and just see if they move slightly. If they move, you know you've got a dry joint there. Simple as that. And it could be something as simple as just hot air gun around, just to reflow the solder back onto each leg separately. So plenty of flux around the perimeter, around those four metal strips or feet, little legs. Plenty of flux, heat it up, and the flux should stop any contamination between the joints and so on and so forth. Okay, right. Yeah, we've got plenty of chips to do all over the place, haven't we? Literally. But I'm not holding out a lot of hope either for what I've done up to this point, which I haven't really done anything. I'm just cleaned it basically, haven't I? And don't know. I wish I was more electronically, technically minded, but things don't go in these days. Obviously, things fall out. If I when I sleep like that on my right hand side, things fall out. Information just goes into the pillow. What can you do? I don't know. Put a cork, earplugs. I should sleep with earplugs in, shouldn't I? I am sweating. Look at this. I'm absolutely dripping. It's horrible. But mustn't grumble. Hey, lads. Okay, leave me to it. And I'm going to wire it together, power it up, and see what happens. Hopefully, it's cured. Okay, let's fire this on again. Do we have surrounding lights? No. Yes, we do. What's this going to be like? No, it's still the same look. It's still the same. Right, you're supposed to shine a light into the blackness and see if the lines are still present. Let's turn that off and that on. Don't know. Don't know, can't tell. It's really wishy-washy, isn't it? It's such a real shame because when you're playing high-end games, this screen is just flipping awesome. Let me try changing a few settings. I'll be really pissed if it's the settings. Right, where are we going? With list. No. Right, give me a sec. Well, that didn't do anything. Picture format. I think that's like just 16 by 9. Hello. You've got a light flashing down there, but nothing's going on. Ain't nothing going on, but there ain't. Ambient style. Crikey. You can really see it now. It's literally all up the screen. Restore style, and then you've got all this pinky purpley stuff down the bottom there. Picture style, movie. Colour, 50%. Backlight contrast, it's a bit brighter. If you bring that down, it saves energy. But it's not really doing anything. It just makes it more noticeable. Oh dear. Okay, let's go back. Sharpness. Sharpness. Okay, let's go. 9. Oh yeah, I can see them lines really sharply now. Oh my goodness, let's just leave it on that. Brightness, 50%. Okay, let's give it some brightness beams. So that'll be technically used. If you had a kilowatt hour meter, you know, plugged into this, it would go up and now down again. I know what I'm trying to say. Expert mode. I better leave that alone. Oh, God. Why is it everything so... Why? Just why? Warm. Colour temperature. Yeah. Just normal. Alright. Just white point alignment. 2 point. What? Why is that up like that? Oh, I think we had to adjust it because the lines are so shit. We had to try and do something to you know, equalize it out. So you got your red, blue, green. That's your basic. That's your basic colours, isn't it? You see. And to make the hardest colour to make is white, because you have to use all the colours to make white. Let's put that on 63. Let's go. Oops. 62, 63. Okay. Okay. 63. Okay. Is that done anything? No, I don't think we're going to cure anything with this, but just in case. I don't know. Contrast, dynamic contrast, video contrast. For God's sake. Video contrast 100. Why? Why not just leave it be? Gamma 0, ultra resolution off. Oops. Okay, on. Off and on. It's now on. No, it's still there. Okay, so I think we've learned something there. Oh, I can't fix it. No, basically, yeah, nothing I've done to that it's never going to be that simple, is it? Now, I do know that the ribbons can fail. I could go through the process of taking them all out and giving them a very, very fine brush with some isopropyl alcohol just to clean up those contacts. I don't know. It's because it's a uniform, almost a uniform pattern up the screen. Apart from those bottom, I think there's 5 or 6 lines just going across. I could do that before going into reflowing the chips, beg your pardon, and all that kind of thing. I could also get a multimeter out and test the ribbons, each one of those little strands. It's very tricky, but under a microscope it's not so bad. If you clip onto a couple of pins, it's an awful lot easier to do that. Like I say, you can get kits of ribbons for a certain TV. You give them the part number, if you tell you model number or serial number, and they go, yeah, this is the kit for that, and you get ribbons and put ribbons in, and it's fine. So there is that to do. Anyway, okay, so leave it with me. I will see what I can do, and take it from there, really. We can only try, can't we? We can only try. Right, just before I get into soldering and all that kind of heat stuff and all the rest of it, the real technical stuff, I'm not really overly confident about doing, but I will have a go at anything. There is one more thing that I could do physically, mechanically, shall I say. I could. Top of the screen, okay, bottom of the screen. Now, has there been any water ingress? This is the bottom of the screen. Has there been any moisture ingress in there whilst it's being cleaned? I don't know. I've never cleaned it. It's not me, you know. let's put that light on so you can see my ugly mug better. Yeah, so it could be that something's happened, doesn't it? Yeah, it's probable. It could just be some sort of liquid gooiness, and I'm only going to find that out when I take off this strip at the bottom and look at where these connections are. I will do that first, and now I'll take out all these million screws all up around there. Just take the thingy off and perhaps separate this and have a really good look inside. It's a mechanical thing, I can do that, so let's just crack on. I think this thing's flipping brilliant. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Okay, leave me to it. Yes,
Sorry,
stop swearing. Stop swearing. Okay, all the screws are out. Let's that's a sort of the seal, trying to stop liquid or anything like that going down there. Oh shit, I've just broken something. Okay. There's nothing really, there's an earthy strap there. I can't see any sort of gallons of water pouring out of it or anything sticky or anything like that going on there. Let's just gently put that over there. Come on, focus. Focus. Now, how do I... It's not really going very well, this, is it? Because I've never done one before. I don't know what to expect, what there's going to be there. Okay, so that's all sandwiched in, isn't it? Properly laminated. That part is laminated right into the screen. Stop it. Stupid boy. So there's absolutely nothing you can do about those lines then. If one of these... It's a shame you can't unplug these one at a time, so you could just unplug one and then fire the telly up and just see if the lines disappear. But because they're completely top to bottom, you know, what's it going to be? Okay, I think I need to do a lot more homework. The thing is, if it was a 10-year-old telly, I'd be, you know, fair enough. Let's just dig a big hole and bury it. But it's not an old telly. It's a real shame, isn't it? And being such a high rated, very sort of high spec TV, you don't expect it to, after sort of like 3 or 4 years, to just go with all the horrible lines. I mean, it's watchable, but I think the whole thing is a lot duller. And you saw in those settings that the brightness was, one of them was 50% and the other one was right up. Don't know. I just don't know. Okay. So yeah, these aren't the backlights. The backlights do go left to right. These are the elements that feed the signal up onto the screen, isn't it? And the lights are another separate entity in there. Right, let's just get them screws undone and let's separate the whole shebang. If I undo these, take these out, come on, take those out. So then when we go to separate it, we can just undo these pieces of tape, because there's nothing really holding this down, is there, apart from these sticky pads and the fact that the wedge is laminated in, so we can peel that back down this way, separate the whole lot, just have a really good look. I've got nothing to lose, have I really? Okay, let's get meddling. I found the culprit. That has wrecked my telly. Okay.
He's a bit D, didn't he? Look at that. Seriously, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I'm just looking at these little bars on here. I wonder what they're all about. Because this is where all the data gets transferred in. Let's have a quick look. See if there's anything untoward. Nothing's jumping out at me. Nothing looks burnt. Looking at these traces going back along here. Again, nothing looks burnt. Kind of wondering why these have got open trace ends against metal. It's supposed to be. I don't know. Right, let's get these this one other piece, this one big piece undone, and we'll get to the bottom of nothing. Okay, all the screws are out. Let's unclip that. Come over here and we'll push that up. So that's the picture frame out of the way, isn't it? Let's see if we can just put that over there like that. Just freeze it up a bit more, doesn't it? There you go. Okay. Right. Looks like we've got tiny pieces of tape here, keeping that all together. So I'm going to relieve that of its job. And then we've got little clips here to separate the actual screen part from this metal frame which houses the backlights. So let's just go around unclipping all of these. Like I say, I've never done this. It's just doing things logically, isn't it, really? Not doing anything special, or I've got no special skills or anything like that. Just logically looking at it and seeing, you know, seeing how it's assembled and seeing, sort of putting a bit of thought into it to seeing how to disassemble. I've got to be very careful of that screen when I finish this, because when I sort of start to separate it, you can't put any pressure on it at any point. Otherwise, we all know what's going to happen, don't we? I'm going to be in it. Okay. Right, I'm seriously going to need 2 hands for this, because I don't want to put any pressure. I need to just lift that off. And hopefully the screen will just stay there and do as it's told. Right. Fingers crossed and wish me luck. Oh, that was a bit scary, I can tell. Yeah, there's also clips along the front edge or the bottom edge where those PCBs are. So I've got it off, and I've got it off of the screen. You see the black edge is the screen surround. Come on, camera, sort yourself out. And there you go. There's all the LEDs, individual little lenses on them. So I think we can just unhook. This is the diffuser. Being an ex-Sparky, you'd have diffusers on light fittings and that kind of thing. So just working my way along, popping that off, so we can lift that out of the way. Put that somewhere safe. Okay, this is completely its own entity now, isn't it? So that can, so drop that back. Don't want to break anything. It's fairly heavy. Fairly heavy. There's nothing really is going to mess that up. I don't really want to drop it onto there, to be fair. Yeah, so basically it's a backlight, isn't it? So you'll have 5 rows on this one. And of course the lenses spread out the light from each one and they kind of meet up in the middle. So yeah, it's cleverly calculated, isn't it? What is that? Just a very thin plastic, for goodness sake. Right, I don't really want to just lay that down with the electronics open like that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the diffuser on the bed, like so, and just gently lay that down on there. Okay. So here we have the screen. Does that piece come off of there? I don't know. It's all new to me. You don't know. That does come off of there. Okay. There's 2 layers there, look. Bloody Winston's hair. Hey, that's weird. Oh, I see. It's like a... Okay, so it's like a one-way mirror, isn't it? Type thing. Very, very cleverly constructed. And there is the screen itself. That is the LCD screenery. I bet that's going to be covered in freaking hairs and shit now, isn't it? Anywho, right, let me have a play and a fiddle and a twist and a poke and see what I can come up with. If I do ever get this sort of thing fixed, I won't. But if I did, when we put it all back together, it's going to be like fucking dog hairs all over the screen, isn't there? Oh my god, I wish I'd stopped sweating. Oh my god. Why do I do this? Why? Just why? Well, this is a bit hairy. I bet you guys out there in Square TV land that do this sort of thing for a living are probably going all at once. I haven't got that clip where they all go like that from Thingy Academy, that film. Fantastic. Yeah, so I need to put it all back together now. I kind of have a hunch that I kind of think that I possibly might know what is causing that, but there we are. I'll let the one out the bag later on. Now it's imperative that you A, get this around the right way, otherwise you're not going to have anything on the screen, and B, you have to have both these layers obviously lined up with the keyways. See, that's not, needs to come down a fraction, because these tabs on here have to go into those locking keyways all at once. Otherwise it pulls this out of kilter and it's knackered. So again, I'm going to need 2 hands to pick this up and somehow flop it in. Kaz is busy downstairs making dinner, I think she's doing. So I will give it a go myself, and if that fails, I will get my knickers in a twist and throw it all out the window. It's fine. I can do what I like with it. Okay, catch you in a minute. Oh god, this is a bit scary. Right, so far so good. I would never have been able to do that on my little lonesome. Not in a million years. Let's put these corner stays back on. They are. That's it. You stay there, little sausage. It's just to keep things in shape whilst they all go back together. All the little tabs have been clipped back into place. You wait, we'll turn it over and crack the screen. You watch. Okay. That's all done down there. Now we need to very gently. Now I've been squeezing these together because these are the traces that send the signals to the RCD. Okay, now if anything in here, beg your pardon, isn't adhered properly, I don't know. I really don't know. You got these little things there. I think that's writing on there. I don't think that's anything corrosive or anything like that. And you've got these special little angles. Can you see those shapes? Special little angles. Get out of it. I tell you what, dog hair, of course, is when he gets up on the bed. And when I took all those floppy, plasticky sort of sheets off, it was like, oh my goodness. It's just going to static a whole lot of dog hairs. It wasn't too bad, in all fairness. But my muff brush helped immensely, which is really good. But yeah, so I don't know if it's exactly the same when we finish. Well, when we put this back together, even if it works, if it's exactly the same, then I can probably rule out mechanical issue, as in physical mechanical parts. I've yet to test the ribbons. I don't know. I've never known a ribbon to fail, really, unless it's been fannied around with a lot outside of a box, and this just hasn't. It's not old. And all that. Right, let's get this back together. I keep faffing around, don't I? Like I say, I keep just very carefully just making sure, because it's gotten worse over time, it could be something that's just delaminating, isn't it? I don't know how that ribbon is adhered onto there. Is it glued? Sorry, is it hot welded? Or I don't know. But as I've been squeezing, if there's any change whatsoever, it can only be a good thing, can't it? All right, let's stick that on there. That goes in there like so. Let's put that back on there. Okay. Let's get that tape back up there. Right. This is some really good fine tape, that. So you've got two rubber pads which actually fit into a little keyway per strip, which holds it basically where it's supposed to go. This end seems to be floating, but again, on the other side of this is two copper strips, isn't it? Right, let's get that in there. Okay, I don't like the idea of that being touching against there. But there we are. It is what it is, isn't it? Okay, let's just give these a last squeeze. Every time I looked up at that at those layers, I saw a dog hair in a different place. It was like, oh, come on, stop it. All right, let's get that in its hole, which is there, and then we can take that down. Take that down. Take that down, kind of where it's supposed to be. I'll go over these again with a bit of tape later, if it's worked. If not, I'm going to see how cheap the ribbons are. You know, it could be just something like that, where it's sort of lost in translation. Come on. Come on. You know you want to. There you go. Okay, that's all back in. That's all back in. Kind of taped together. All clipped all round. I could do with I'm just going to put the picture frame on because it needs to be on there, really, doesn't it? And then it's a done deal, isn't it? Okay, I think dinner's going to be ready in a sec. Right, yeah. Okay, let's see what goes on. That is going to be a win for me because I've got no screws left. That's a first, eh? Right, okay, just checking around. So we're all done back up, we're all done, all what's the word I'm looking for? Snugged up together. That's the one. I'm just gonna marry that with that again, and then we'll plug it in a minute. And just stand back. All right, just stand back. If you don't see me in the next 5 minutes, call ambulance and police and fire brigade. It's only 12 volts inside after the 240 bit, so it's fine. Anyway, let me have a crack at it. Okay, well it's shit or bust because I've just put all the screws back in. So if it don't work, it don't work, does it? Oh dearie me. Right, let's plug that in there. Let's stand it up. Let's make it feel like it's just what it is. Watch me drop it now. God's sake. Oh, come on. Okay. Let's put the switch on. Nothing's gone bang yet. Okay, remote control. And fire. Got any lights on the outside? No. Can it see us? Do we have lights on the outside? No, we don't. We do have lights. Oh, what's going on? Well, we have a picture. No, it's still there. It is still there. So I don't know whether the screen, the laminated screen, is just degrading. If so, Philips, that isn't really very good, is it? Well, I'm just happy that the thing lights up again. What size is that? It's good. I don't know. Let me go get my tape measure. Okay, let's see how big or small it is. Oops, excuse me. Hook onto the end. Hook onto the end. Oh, cock. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this off camera. Okay, well it's actually 49 inches from the inside of there to the inside of that corner. That's how you measure your screen, but it's called a 50-inch. So I mean, it's there. Let's get this source. Now, I was going to say she looks a bit pinky, didn't she? There. Let's turn that light off. Let's see if I can connect to Tinterweb from here. I should be able to, shouldn't I? Network. Oh no, watch TV. Oh, apps. YouTube. Sign in with your Google account. Oh, not that again. That's because the power's been off. Use your remote. I can't be arsed. Do you know what? That doesn't look too bad. But you can still see it in the black. You can't, I mean, the thing is, you can't really see it. If you stand back and look at that, I'm just being a really whingy old cow, aren't I? Right, so after all that time and all that, me wasting all your time watching, it's exactly the same as it was. Actually, I think it's actually a little bit brighter. But now I've played around with those settings. Search US election results. Trump. Oh, Trump wins. Okay, let's have a look and see what that comes out like. She's very quiet, isn't she? Don't tell me I broke the speakers. Oh, skip ad. Okay, so Let's go into that. Settings. Sound. That's just changing the flipping audio out. Ah, right, okay. TV speakers. Okay, volume up.
So I just want to say that on behalf of this great group of people, these are hard-working people. These are fantastic.
Okay, I mean, that actually doesn't look too... In all fairness, that does look improved. You really got a job to see that on the grey there. It's only if you know it's there. Because look, I mean, that... Oh, you can just about... Because there was a major line going straight through, wasn't there? And that's not there. Do you know what, guys? I think I've done something. If it's not... I mean, I know it's not brilliant. Look. Does that pick it up under the torch? Yeah, you can just about see these little... On the camera, it looks much more prevalent than what it does naked eye looking at that. I've got a job to see them lines. US election results. That's a win. I reckon that's a win, guys. Yeah, we've got the lines still down the bottom, but they're more defined. And you can see colours between... It's like a guitar. It's like a fretboard on a guitar, isn't it? Before, that was purple in there. Let me turn that camera off. That was purple in there. And now, if you look very closely, there's just one line that's got purple in it. You can't... I don't know if you can see that. Look at his chin, that Jimmy Hill there. Just one line that's got... Yeah, I'm going to put this back in the games room. Right, that's a win. All I did was squeeze, so it must be those connections. Those, how many were there? 8, 2, 4, 6, 12. Those 12 connections from the ribbon to the PCB. I'm quite happy with that. That is, I mean, look. That's really good. Let's just go back a bit. I don't know if I can actually show anything on here because subscriptions. Well, I haven't got any. Well, I can't sign in yet, can I? Oh, Johnny, be good.
Oh, yeah, that'll go nicely. Think about the recipe.
What do you reckon? Before, you can still see the lines just in certain colours. Oh, and it has gone pink down the bottom here, look now.
Oh, yeah.
Skip survey. Right, Johnny, be good. Oh, better turn that off, otherwise I'm going to get copyrighted. That's really bizarre down there. Something's happened. I've done something and it's improved it. About 50%, I would say. That's going to be a win for me. End of story. I was going to literally offer it out as a freebie, but I could play games on that. I reckon that would work. I am going to keep hold of it for a little bit. If it deteriorates again, one of you lot can have it. Can't say fairer than that, can I, really? Okay, well, thank you for watching. It's a bit of a bittersweet one, isn't it, really? I kind of haven't really done an awful lot, apart from I've learnt about flat screen tellies. I've learnt about what's inside them and kind of how they work, sort of thing. The biggest thing I've learnt is don't be afraid to take the plug out, disconnect everything, and just open it up. It's just parts put together, isn't it? And 9 times out of 10, 7.9 times out of 10, it will be something visual. Whatever it is you're fixing or trying to fix, it will be something visual. You know, big black burn mark where a fuse is really popped, or a cable's fallen off. Just be a bit adventurous. Have a go at trying to fix stuff. I don't mean getting inside an old CRT TV, because you'll probably kill yourself with the voltages that are still in there. Do not do that. I'm talking about, you know, broken toaster, or a broken kettle, or anything really. Anything that you think, I'm just going to go and buy a new one. Please, just have a look and just see if you can repair it somehow. Or if you know somebody that can repair it. It just saves landfill, doesn't it? And I think if everybody just tried to repair just one thing, you think about the amount of things that saves going into the ground. It's quite a lot, isn't it? Anyway, thank you for looking. Yeah, I think we're right. I mean, look, that was not like that earlier. That was all grainy and liney, wasn't it? That's weird. Oh, Jimmy there. Good old Jimmy boy. Okay, take it easy. I'll see you next time when I take apart a combine harvester. Only kidding.